Hopefully you've already watched the video about active choices that photographers make. This continues those same ideas and are some of the rules in photography that are more active and mindful, and also intentional choices that we make. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first rule is to be active and move. Don't just stand there with your camera like a lump, okay? Move around, climb up on things, get down low. If there's something that you want to photograph and you don't like where it is, then be active and move that thing to somewhere else. Point your camera in different directions. Just be active and take control of the situation. The next thing is to be quick, be ready, or wait. So Henry Cartier-Bresson came up with this idea of this decisive moment. It's this perfect moment to take a photograph. If we look at this famous photo of his, if it had been taken a moment before, the guy would have been standing on the ladder. It would have been a good picture. This was taken, he would have hit the water. He would have gotten, and you would have gotten all those nice circles. It would have been a beautiful photograph. But this is the perfect moment, the decisive moment for this image to be taken, when he is just hovering above the water. So now our eyes and our mind don't work like cameras. Our eyes and mind work like a video camera. We see things continuously, and it's very hard for us to freeze one moment in our minds. And that is one of the greatest things that photography can do. That's one of the ways that photography shows us the world in a new way. So over here, it's the same thing. If the bicyclist was here, it'd be okay without the bicyclist. But if he was over here, it's the same. It'd be okay, but it's that perfect moment for wherever your eye is led down the stairs and over to this empty space where there's the bicyclist and he's running out or biking out outside of the frame. When I say be quick, be ready, or wait, being quick means something really cool is going on, and you quickly grab your camera and you take a picture of it. Being ready means, oh, okay, I'm going to go to a ball game or I'm going to go to a parade and I'm going to have my camera out and be ready and be looking around for things to photograph. And waiting means, okay, you're at a parade, you see an elephant all the way down at the end of the block, you know it's coming towards you, you lift your camera and you're waiting for that elephant to come right past you to take that specific photo. One rule is to avoid clutter. Anything in this picture that hurts the picture, that distracts the viewer, is clutter, and you don't want it there. So there's a lot of ways to get rid of clutter. So if we take this picture and we consider these people in the background clutter because we like the subject we're taking a picture of the sky, you know, there's this waterfall in the background and these people are all just distracting the viewer from the subject and the background. So there's a couple different ways you can solve that. You can wait until they move, or you can change your camera angle. So you just a little bit lower, so you just got him and actually get more of the waterfall that way. You can ask them to move. You can move this guy to a new location. There's all different kinds of ways that you can avoid clutter. So when taking a picture, don't just think, oh, I'm taking a picture of the sky. Actually, look at everything within the entire frame. Look at all four borders and everything around in them and make sure that there's nothing that you don't want to be there. And you're including everything that you do want to be in the frame. So just because you have things around does not mean that they're clutter. With this dandelion photograph of a guy on a motorcycle, it's fine that there's these bridges in the background. I wouldn't consider them clutter. They add positive, negative space, and they also add a sense of space. It's fine. And here, knowing that this thing coming up and the clouds in the background in the building, this I wouldn't consider clutter either, because it's a more visual interest. But there's more than that. There's all of that in there, because if you had part of just like a car, or a tiny bit of a car going in, I would consider that clutter because it's just distract the viewer from these interesting shapes. So the rule of thirds is literally a rule in photography. And what that means is if you just divide up your picture by 3 horizontal and 3 vertically lines, you want to avoid putting your subject right in the center. and that you would put your subject on the first third or the last third or the top third or the bottom third. And then going a step further, some people see these intersections here as PowerPoints. And it's considered good to put your subject in these PowerPoints. So here, 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 and here. They actually have done studies where like 41% of users look at this spot and 20% here, 14% here, and 25% here. So again, the reason that you want to put things to one side or another is to make it a lot more dynamic. It makes it so your eyes move across the image. That asymmetry, that change of balance, or that plane with the balance gives this dynamic, moving look to your photograph. So here we see this mountain. It's not directly in the center, right? This little channel right here kind of goes across from this PowerPoint here, here over to here, which is creating has a nice diagonal, and we feel some sort of movement with that. And rule of thirds can be used on square images like this. So this one right here. So instead of her being in the center, she's over to the side. You can also work well with vertical images. So this doorway here, it's over to the side a little. This cutout is in the top third. So she's over to the side right here. And is in the top third as well. And this is over to the right side, nothing directly in the center. Again, it gives the feeling of movement in the image. So if you break that rule of thirds and you put something directly in the middle, you get more of a symmetrical feeling, and it feels a little bit more formal and almost like static. And what static means is it's not moving. So you don't have to have that feeling of movement anymore. And especially if you put something directly in the center, if they're looking at the camera, it's a lot more confrontational as well. So the next rule is called eye space, or sometimes called looking space. So that is showing the space that someone is looking into. It's having more space in front of where they're looking or behind them. In this image over here, we have more space behind him than we have in front of him, talking to the picture on the left. And then you can give a sense of unease. If there's more space behind him, we feel a little bit more uneased. It's a lot more pleasant to look at this eye space here on the right. Sometimes it's even called breathing room. And you get that kind of more open feeling here because we have this space here in front of him. Here we can look at these two images, same image, but shot two different ways, or cropped two different ways here. The eye space is cut off here. And you get that weird sense of unease because who knows what's over there, where this kid is headed. And here, on this one, we see the space that the baby is looking into over here. We don't have to see what he's looking at, but just seeing that there's space is a lot more pleasant to look at. So pole head is something you definitely want to avoid. So you do not want a branch or a pole or a tree or a building sticking out of someone's head. So this would be the wrong way to do it. This would be the right way here. So wrong way, right way. So move yourself, change the camera angle, move the person, whatever you need to do so they don't have something growing out of their head. You should also show some space in portraits. If you have someone literally right up against the wall like this, it's going to look a lot more booking photo in a prison or like a passport photo or something like that. So even if it's just still a plain background, here you can see that this guy's pulled away maybe like 5 feet from the background. But again, it gives a little bit more sense of space. And the final rule is show the unexpected. So we're all walking through life looking at things at eye level. So change up the angles or find something really neat that we don't usually see. Something that shadows are doing that's really interesting. Or here we have the mirror framing the image and reflecting it back. Here we have the ring making the heart. So find things that are interesting, unexpected, beautiful, mysterious, intriguing, things that capture it with our, like things that you can capture with your camera. So I don't know why I find this so interesting, but just that little, like, why is there an ostrich back there, right here? Just makes it really, I'm just attracted to this image. I think it's really funny. And this one, I love that the spider here is just hanging in space, but showing, but like you can't really see the web. So showing the unexpected is one of the greatest things that we can do with our cameras. So finally, break those rules if you want to. Cut off that eye space if you want to have a feeling of unease. If that's what you're trying to communicate with your photos, put someone right in the center. If you do want more of a confrontational image or if more of a static image, but it's better to know what the rules are so you know when to break them. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll help you out because that's what I'm here for.